Okay, now I can start streaming and I can get this all correct. Alright, now that I've got solar system generator, now that I've got the SSG working correctly, I figured out what the problem was. It turns out that if you set your space station with post regeneration, or pre-generation, so that it shows up post, it errors out. It will not allow you to set these stations to regenerate, even though it was down there with the hashtags in front of it. So just for anybody that's watching our stream or potentially watches it later, that's what caused the problem for us. It definitely caused some issues. Let me close all of these, and we will go through here, and we will work on planets next. Well, actually, what I'll do is I'll treat this as like a whole new stream, and I'll go through and I'll show you all this from the beginning. The solar system generator, we use it to generate seed planets. That's what we use it for. We build our galaxy otherwise through the sector.yaml and get it all positioned and everything using some other utilities that are out there. And then once we get it built, we use the SSG to build our seed planets, and we work from them to basically build our galaxy. It allows us to get a lot of changes really quickly. Anyways, these are the play fields that they generate from. This is those templates. Inside of these files, there are two files in the planet ones, one file in the space ones that matter. In here it's space dynamic.yaml for the space asteroid fields. As you can see, we have it set up to where it'll generate a range of ores. I'll show you how all this changes later once we get it stable and working. Right now we're just going to work with basic generation so I can show you how all this works and how easy they've really made this. This is a phenomenal utility. I really like it. It's not bad. Now, if you see solar system config.yaml, you'll have 3 of those that you start with. The one without a number, and then 2 and 3. Okay. Now, what you do is you pick a seed number, and it generates it. Now, you'll notice, as you scroll and you move stuff around, sometimes this will move along with it. It's really annoying, but it does happen. Now, you'll notice it generates all these planets and all this stuff, and you can change how all this generates inside these template files. Now, these template files are located in the content random presets folder. Now, you'll notice we have a bunch of other random presets that we do as well. If you go inside here, you can see it has one temperate starter, a snow, a desert, a barren, another temperate, 1 to 2 lava, and an alien. You also notice it has 1 sun, 1 to 3 asteroid fields, and 1 to 2 space trading stations. Now you can adjust this to tell it how many of everything you want. So, what we're going to do is we're going to show you through a whole separate file how to customize this so that you can get more planets and change how they spread out and how all this works. Very first thing we're going to do here is we are going to copy one of these. We're going to paste it in here, and then we're going to name it solar system config underscore temporary. Now we're going to edit it, and we're going to change it to give it 3 temperate starters. We're going to give it 4 snow, 4 desert, 4 barren, 4 temperate, 4 lava, 4 alien. We're going to give it 5 asteroid playfields and 2 stations. Now that we've set this up, we're going to use the generator to generate that to our specifications that we have here currently. And we are going to give it a one-way warp probability of 0, so we don't end up with any annoying one-way warps. So let's close our generator, otherwise it won't see the new file. Reopen our generator. We're going to click sector, and we're going to pull up the temporary, and we're going to give it seed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and click generate. And there it is. We have generated our system based on what we want very quickly. It's already playable, believe it or not. And we can export this up here under scenario name. For whoever just joined our Discord, please be advised that we are in the middle of a stream. There will be no cussing, or I will mute you immediately. Okay, under scenario name, we're going to name this temp scenario. And we are going to change our export directory to scenarios and export the scenario. And then sector generation, writing sector files took 6,424 milliseconds. Now it's a playable scenario, minus one fact. We have to go in and we have to put in a special file. There's our temp scenario. It's got gameoptions.yaml. That is where you set up all the game options for the game itself. So when they start the scenario, they start with these game options. We have a separate gameoptions.yaml we use, but you can go through and you can change all of this however you want. It's pretty easy. And then you can forward that scenario. Now there is like a 10 meg file size limit to scenarios right now. It's kind of a problem. I'm sure they'll deal with it eventually. But anyways, there's our temp scenario done and generated. Now, for our intensive purposes, we need something completely different. So what we are going to do is we are going to go to our server, since that's what we're currently updating. We're going to copy our scenario back from the server in its last functional state, and we are going to paste it here. And we are going to edit that scenario and update it little by little. Now, even though it says it starts and plays, there are some things that we want to change, and some things that they have told us will not work correctly, apparently. So we're just going to do a fresh generation of a handful of files. Some are planets we knew had problems before, like Nomoris and Araxu. They had issues. We're just going to replace those entirely. I also noticed that all of our temperate planets had problems. So we're going to replace all our temperate planets as well. At least all our Akua clone temperate planets. They came up as snow planets. I'm assuming that was an error in my generation of them. Whoops. Those need fixed. Yeah, sorry, I'm really boring. I'm just waiting on this to copy. Okay. Gotta check on all my stuff. While we're waiting on this, let's switch to close this all out. All right. Looks like that's done. Let's go ahead and do some stuff. All right, now I know that the planet generations that come up originally are going to suck. So we're going to work on changing that first so that we get good seeds out of this. Now, if you want to look at a planet, you can click on that planet, click Go to Planet, and normally go straight to that planet. Why that is not working right now is frickin' beyond me. You can go to the orbits, but you can't go to the planets right now. It just doesn't work. It doesn't see any of the files. It's being a pain. I'm assuming we have to change this to content, playfields, select folder, back to sector, back to here, back to go to planet, and then we can actually generate the planet according to what it's going to have. So when we click generate, it'll generate everything for that planet, and we can see how that planet is going to look. This is that snow planet, and this is its ore that it currently has right now. Now this is that new stepped up system that they have. The larger the planet class, the more ore it has. The problem with this is that on Sector 2 or Class 2 planets, it's not a lot of ore. There's also some other issues due to some other things, but we'll get into that another time. Right now, we're just trying to work through the SSG. Now, you'll notice that even resources that are on top of each other are still hundreds of meters apart, if not in some cases thousands, on larger planets. So while this looks like a lot of ore, there to there is quite a distance. On a Class 4, that's like 500 meters. Maybe give or take. No, that's about 2,000 meters actually difference. Yeah, that's 2,000 meters. That's 2 kilometers apart on a Class 4. Now, let me see here. I'm sure there's a Class 5. Let's go to planet. Let's generate. Give this a minute here. Okay. And there's this planet, and there's all its ore. So you can see that there is quite a bit generated by default now, and I haven't had to edit the templates. But you'll notice there's some big dead spaces here too. So what I was going to do was I was going to go through and clear some of that up a little bit, so that when we go to generate from these seeds, we have a better chance of having really good generations to them. So playfields. First, we're going to look at alien. We're going to look at static.yaml, because that's all the stuff that changes. Actually, you know what? We should go through and edit all of these, because they are all PvP by default to boot. If you notice, it doesn't say anything about PvP till right here, and PvP is true if you don't set it. Why, I don't know, but that's the way they decided to do it. So you have to make sure to put PvP false somewhere. Just to make sure that we don't have a second entry somewhere else in the file. Nope, okay. So that's the first thing we need to fix on Alien, is that. Second thing we need to do is look at the resources. Now this means that on a Class 2, you will have 2 to 3 of this resource type at 5 to 8 size. This is crap. You'll also notice that they don't, by default, regenerate the asteroid resources, which is also crap. Why they don't do this is beyond me, but this is the way they decided in their infinite wisdom would be great to set it up by default. So you don't get asteroids by default on any of the deposits on this planet, with the exception of Erestrum. Not one alien planet will have any resources when it's depleted. This is default for the SSG. Again, why they're doing it this way, I don't know, but that's the way they've got it right now. It's all screwed up. So what we've got to do is we've got to fix that. Now we can either go through and fix all this stuff the way it should be, change the counts, change the size, min, max, actually fix it, or we can copy and paste from my files that already have this crap fixed. That's what I'm voting for. So let's go up to content, new folder. That's random presets, play fields. We're going to open my alien, static.yaml. And as you'll notice, we've already got this stuff fixed in here. We've already fixed the size min-max, the counts min-max, and all the ors are already set to generate the highest amount I'm aware of functionally, which is 1.0. So we shall copy those, and you'll notice I already have regen worked in. That's another thing we'll check here, if they have, after we fix this problem. So, problem fixed. Look at that. Like a boss. Alright. Now the 3 to 6 count min-max is fine, but their size minimum maximum was really, really small. And on a multiplayer server, that's not going to work for us. Not at all. Now, the next part we're going to look at and see if regen was already done. And it appears that they already did regen on everything that required it. So, kudos to them, huh? Yeah, they already did regen. Now, the other thing we need to check, we don't like having stores or trading stations or anything like that on planets. The reason these trading stations suck on planets is because they're confusing to players. Players really don't get the trading system in this game at all. It would have been easier had they done it all virtual, but they don't, so we have to do this manually. In every single playfield that we generate normally, before the SSG, this thing just makes it easy. So we're going to remove TS planet, so there's no planetary station, and then we remove that from the spawn POI avoid, so that it doesn't cause problems on the startup of the planet when we're done. And that's it. Now, all the alien planets that we generate will be PvE. We'll have a decent amount of ore on our alien planets. I'll show you how this pans out later. And everything will regen, and we won't have a trading station there to confuse players. Players trying to trade when they have 50 stations they could potentially post at, it causes problems. Mostly because most of your servers only have 150 players, 170 players at max. Like, that's the biggest server out there, and they're trying to do all this trade across an entire galaxy like that, and it's not going to work. It's really not. So, that's what we do on ours. It just makes things easier to get rid of all the trade stations. Now, mind you, there are still some... There's still a mall in the center of our galaxy where all trading can happen. It's one central location. Everybody can just fly there, post their stuff up for sale, fly there, pick it up. All the confusion's removed. One station, one place to trade. Everybody knows where it's at. Simple. You pop up the trade window and you go looking, you only have one trade option, and that's what it should be. So that fixes that issue. We're going to take a moment here to open up Chrome and check our YouTube. See if anybody's done any messages, because I haven't even been... I don't even watch it. Okay. And nobody said anything. Good deal. Had to make sure. Alright. Do we even have anybody watching this stream? I don't know if I have anybody watching. Oh, 5 people are. Hey, look at that. That's cool. Okay. So anyways, that's the alien planet. Now we've got to do this for each planet type so that when it generates these files, we don't have these problems. So we are in new folder now. We are going to open the barren static.yaml. You'll notice PvP is false here too. And that we have, on our files, everything a little bit different. Okay. Now we're going to open up their barren, and we're going to compare the changes. So content, playfields, barren, static.yaml. And you'll notice that, again, we don't see PvP anywhere. let's find just to be sure. Yep, that's the only. So PvP false. And then we're going to go down to ores. And we're going to look at, and they did it again. Not everything regenerates by default, and the amounts are really crappy on this one. So we're going to take our resource deposits from our Baron, and we're going to copy those resource deposits from there, the already fixed ones, and we're going to paste them here. That way we can continue having these set up properly. Why does that show up like that? That's crazy. Must be something in my lighting. My shirt shows up like almost green. That's crazy. Okay, whatever. Anyways, I literally don't see anything. Freaking weird. Alright, so that one's fixed. Let's move on to the next one. Close that out. Close that out. And we're going to do desert static.yaml. We are going to look and make sure that there's only one entry for PvP false. We're going to fix that entry. Then we're going to go down and check their ore. Yep, I did the same thing here. So we are going to open our content, new folder, playfields, desert, playfield static, and we are going to go down and select our resources. Now, in case you're wondering why we're not using these files, I'm not 100% sure of what they changed in them, and I don't feel like going line by line and doing this and checking them and making sure that they're okay. So it's just easier to redo ours from theirs every time rather than just try to take a bunch of guessing and go through and compare them and check them, and it's just not worth it. Not really. Now, I also want to check down here. Again, TS Planet. And then we need to make sure. Oh, I noticed they have a bunch of stuff grayed out there. Which means this planet is not going to have a whole lot of anything, actually. What is this? That's the desert one. It's going to have a total of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14 at best. No. Let's give it 4 drone bases. 1, 2, 5 Epsilon mains. Why not? Auxiliary up to 5. Epsilon defense T1 up to 8. Let's see here. Rados refinery. We'll give 1, 2, 6 of those. Get rid of this crap. There's a whole bunch of other stuff they've got kind of out there. That'll give enough POIs, I think. And they've all got regen on them. Alright. Desert is cleaned up. Okay. Alright, let's go back and we're going to double check Baron real quick. Just to be sure I didn't goof on something here. Ship Civil says email T2. Okay, that's what I thought. We are, however, going to bump that up to 8. Bump that to 6. Bump that to 3. bump that to 3, and bump the drone bases to 3. Okay. One, two, three, four, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Had to double check that on Baron. All right. Lava. Huh. PvP false is set to lava. I must be a new. I am a new folder. Okay. Let's minimize that. Let's go to content, playfields, lava, static. And PvP false. Make sure that flags up. Let's go to deposits. Again, you'll notice they did not give you a whole lot of regen options. Now, in single player, let's be honest, that's where most of their concentration is, and I don't think we really care in single player, but in multiplayer, to have to go through all this work to be able to make this thing usable for multiplayer is an awful lot to go through, admittedly. We are going to up this planet, since it's lava, to have multiple drone bases as well. We are going to get rid of TS Planet. That's gone. Abandon POI. 1 to 4. Remove TS Planet from there. And from here. Okay. Now, let's see here. Artifacts. Get a few more POIs there. Civil Sediments rated. T2. Looks like there's not a whole lot of options here on these lava planets. That's disappointment, or disappointing. We'll up the abandoned POIs as well. Alright. Okay, and I would say we're done there. So let's close those and move on to the next one. Moon. PvP false. Let's go down through here, check our resources on the moon. Huh. 1 asteroid resource falls on the moon, that's cobalt. Okay. Content, new folder, playfields, moon, static. Let's go down through and we are going to copy our fixed moon file over to the ore deposits here. Alright, that has been fixed. And then we're going to check these. We would like moons to be a little bit more exciting. And we'll give it multiple drone bases as well. Okay. Now we've fixed all that. Now, since the moon doesn't have as much going on, I would say we could increase the drone presence just a little. Only because I'm not sure if we're going to have problems with that. And okay. Next drone count. Pentaxid deposits. We'll give them 3 drones apiece. We'll see how that affects everything. We'll see how this plays out on our server. I'll be honest, I'm not 100% sure how that's all going to play out settings-wise. Should be fine, but I don't know. So there's that done. Moons are completed. Let's do a pass past moon starter here, because I know the starter's even worse. Oh no, they actually got everything. Oh no, never mind, that's mine. Huh. I thought that looked a little funny. Content, playfields, moon starter, PvP false. Yeah, that's what I thought. Copy 2. And then, let me see here, I am in. We'll give it. Now we'll leave drone bases alone. We'll leave all this stuff like it is, because that is for starters. That's basically going to be for the Akua, because they don't have any other starters yet. They have 0 other starters in here. I will be right back. Alright. We'll go through and continue editing. Now, I understand what I'm editing, just in case anybody's just joining us. What I'm editing is the actual templates that SSG uses to generate the galaxy from. Since we use this to generate seeds and everything, I want it all to generate as close to correct, or at least our version of correct for multiplayer as possible. Alright. So let's go ahead and close the moon files here. And let's move to snow. Let's do that. And check resources, same thing. So let's open my new folder. Playfields, snow, my static. And let's go ahead and copy our resources over from there to here so that we can correct the resources. And then we're going to go through and give the snows, again, multiple drone bases, because everybody loves drone bases, right? And we're going to get rid of the TS. We're going to double check and make sure nothing else calls to it to avoid it. Now we're going to go through and increase the amount of potential We're going to give this... Alright. That all looks better. Okay. Close, close, close that. Let's go back to... Skip the spaces, because I think I already updated those. Let's go to here and double check. Yep. That's all been edited in here. We'll see if it comes out correctly when we see it post-gen. Check space orbit. Same thing. Now remember, you can't put a regen tag after this, because in this current version of SSG it comes up with an error. That seems to be a problem. So if you try to put regen here, so that post-gen, everything, all of these stations that would normally be in the galaxy would already have regen on them, it's not going to work. Though we should increase the amount of carriers while we're here. Let's check this and see what we got. Freighters, 2-day carriers. 1 to 5 of these stations. And then player stations, 1 to 3. These abandoned stations are non-powered. Players can take them, and they come with an alien core. So when players take these stations, they've got infinite energy and infinite oxygen on these stations. There will be a limited number of them. We'll see how that works out. That ought to be interesting. They're alien stations with alien technology. Why can't they have the possibility of infinite fuel? I even have a scientific explanation for it. Sort of. Okay. So our space ones will probably be fine. Let's go to temperate. Open the static. We'll do that right off rip. Yep, I'm in the correct ones. I had to double check. Yeah, there's no consistency in these files, just so you're aware. Besides things being consistently not good for multiplayer. New folder, playfields. We are in temperate. Let's open temperate static. Let's grab our resource list. And copy it over to here. And paste that. Now let's go through and check our bases for temperate planets. There's another TS planet. There are 3 references to them total that we need to eliminate. Don't delete the brackets. We are streaming, so just as a fair warning, please do not curse, or I will mute you. Abandoned POIs, we're going to give up to 4. Now we'll go 6 with that. Tribal villages, these are temperates. We'll leave that alone. Drone factories up to 5. So I'll teach you up to 8. That'll step up some of the difficulty throughout the solar system, because that gets pretty random. Alright, and then we will double check the starters. So let's open our starter here, and then let's go through content, playfields, temperate starter, open it static, change PvP. We are streaming, just so you know, so please do not use foul language or any racial comments or slurs while you are here, or you will be muted.
Okay,
Right.
Precious.
Hi, Jester. How you doing, buddy?
Very good.
I'm
Just woke up.
getting the next generation and building of our galaxy going here.
Oh, that'll be good.
Let's copy the random resources over to here. Paste
Because
them.
as you know, chili can never be bad.
I'm a good boy. Junk T2, junk T1. Let's see here. Drone base, tribal village, tower, crash Talos. And you'll notice they have no regen on the start planet whatso frickin' ever.
That was a happy surprise the other day when I noticed the stack sizes had jumped up.
yeah, that's just because I used to config.ecf even though they told me not to. It says not to use that, by the way.
Gotcha. I wasn't sure if you just changed your mind or if you just decided to ignore it.
I decided for now to ignore it and give it a shot. I figured, as buggy as it is, what could it hurt at this level, you know?
I mean, you're really just configuring numbers. I mean, it's not that big a deal.
Nah, the config file does way more than that, though. Way, way more.
Well, I'm talking about mainly the stack sizes. There's not a lot that can go wrong with that. So
No, I don't figure there is. Alright, we seem to be good. Minus the fact that our starter planets had nothing regens on them at all. That's a little annoying. So we're going to copy our regen after keys. And we are going to copy these into things that require it. Okay.
oh, okay. So while I was asleep, part 4 came in. Gotcha. I
Yeah.
just noticed that. That's nice. That explains why the server's not in the list.
Yeah,
You're
that's why
working.
the server's down at the moment, is because I'm going through and I'm working on getting a lot of that fixed. Oh, I just realized I made a boo-boo.
Well, it's a good thing that I've been saving copies as I've been working on that big farm again. So
That was annoying.
yep.
Okay. Skip the ships.
Let's see what else they've changed here. Oh, that is genius. The mobile heater and cooler. Well, that solves the whole problem with not having a suit, as long as you don't stray too far from it.
Yeah, it really does.
It's like a technological fireplace and air conditioner. That's weird. Now, I wonder if it glows orange like that all the time, or when you're needing cooling, it glows like a blue.
I'll be honest, don't know. I am still trying to work on doing our generation for our seeds, so that I can
Yeah.
update some of this stuff to their current build without too many problems.
Dang it, it looks like they did not include the railing, unless I'm overlooking it. The catwalks and railings that they were flaunting at one point.
1 to 5. Okay, that should help. Alright, now I should be able to generate seeds without much of a problem. Give me a moment here. I have dinner ready, but I don't want to have dinner in the middle of my stream. I'm showing how to use the SSG to kind of help alleviate some of these problems that most people have. Alright, so we're ready. That should help greatly with the number of POIs and stuff from start to finish. Alright, let's see how SSG likes that. Alright, we have popped up the solar system generator. We are going to go with a complete generation. Tell it to gen. And there we are. Okay. It's quite a bit of planets in the solar system, by the way. This one I generated. We are going to check a couple things. Tell it to generate. Good, good, good. Good POI spread. Decent amount of resources, all things considered. Not great, but decent. It's only a size class 3, so... Let's check another planet. We'll check this barren. It's a size class 4. Go to planet. Generate it. Decent. Not great, but decent. Has a class 4 planet too. Why is there so few deposits on it? There should be a lot more deposits here. In all honesty. I'm going to have to step some of this up a little bit. Let's go back to sector. We'll do desert next. Go to planet. Generate seed. We've got a good spread of POIs. A decent amount of POIs here, but unfortunately, there's not a whole lot for resources on this generation, which is disappointing. I may have to increase the counts on my resources to get this
Gen
actually...
4?
What, the one I'm on now?
Yeah.
This is a class 3 planet.
I mean, we know we just had a download update.
Yeah, this is all number 4 that I'm streaming right now.
Oh, okay.
I'm going through and redoing the system, but I need seed planets to work from. I have to replace Araxu and a few other planets that were problematic.
You see they turned off SI for floating bases?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some playfields have SI turned off. Not all planets have it, so that's going to be confusing for players.
I see some map changes. I'm running 801 right now. Go to 8.4. I don't know. I just started this just yesterday. Guess I can start again.
Yeah, we'll have to start all over again in our experimental map.
It's not bad. It's not bad. It's quick. It's quick startup, and I can put a. You can actually get a SV in here at level 7.
Yeah, and you already get the resources and stuff to do it pretty quickly.
Oh yeah, and they got those little special purpose rocks you can pick up off the ground.
Yeah, but the problem with those rocks is they don't regenerate.
Yeah. They do regenerate.
Oh, do they?
Yes, they do. Yeah, you see a bunch of them all the time, and you'll see them in the same spots. They'll appear, or a little bit of randomness. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's cool.
Something else. I'm noticing that, like I said, you can get an SV up to level 7, and picking up those rocks off the ground, and you can grind rock powder up and make ore with it. That's nice. They changed the whole survival constructor. They made a mobile air conditioning system now. So if you end up landing in a biome, it's really cold or really hot, you can craft one of those things from your starter. And as long as you're staying around it, it's fine.
Oh, the orbits are definitely a lot more active. Carrier.
Mm-hmm.
Drone. Another drone. Freighter. Antares Space Farm.
Oh, wow.
Assault Orbital.
So this is the first time I've seen that orbital map where I can see the connecting lines of their travel path.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that makes more sense to me. It's not really an actual circular pattern. It's kind of straight lines.
Yeah, it's point to point in a straight line.
That's good to know.
They circle the planet and point to point.
Yeah, that could be helpful for placing my farm out there if I could figure out.
I'll be honest though, I'm not happy with the space orbit amount of asteroids though. We had a lot more in our previous generations. Too little. So we're gonna go and we're going to double check.
Did they spread those out in this iteration? Because the last one, they were just clumped up real near.
It seems that it's ignoring some of what I'm telling it to. 3 to 6 min max. Let's up that to 5 to 10. Count min max. Copy. Control F. Replace with 3 to 6 to 5 to 10. Replace all counts. Close. Save. Okay. Now we'll go through and we'll correct some of that. Barren. Because that is not enough ore for multiplayer, in my humble opinion. Considering we can't place all. Save. Desert. Let's go down. 6, 5, 10. Replace all. Save. Next one. Trying to get it balanced correctly this time, so that I don't have to do this again. Replace all. Save. Oh, gold resource was the other one. We'll leave that alone. Let's go up again to moon. Moon is probably fine. Snow. Replace all. Save. Let's go through temperate. Replace all. Save. And then let's go to temperate starter. Replace all. None of them are 3 to 6. Oh, the counts are already 10 to 15, 8 to 10, 6 to 10, 3 to 4. Okay. So the starters will have quite a bit more in them. Now let's go to our space play field. Space asteroid field. Count 5 to 10 seemed to be kind of crappy. So we'll go 10 to 15 on each. 5 and 10. We'll replace that with 10 to 15. Replace all 10. Save. Nothing else was affected. Good deal. And then we'll go to space orbit. Has 3 to 9. That's even lower. 3 to 9. We'll replace that with 10 to 15. Okay.
I have to say I'm disappointed with this stream because I don't get to see Chili's beautiful face.
Oh, yeah, I have it disabled right now. I'm sorry. There you go. Space orbit starter should also have 10 to 15. Now we'll look at the generation and we'll see the difference. Okay, let's hit solar system generator again. And we'll go back to sector. And we'll change to US because that's our test. And we'll click the generate button. And now it's regenerated. And the first thing we'll look at is alien. Go to planet.
There's my favorite cherub.
Oh, that's much better. That is only a class 2, and that's got quite a bit of ore on it. That is so much better than it was. Let's check. Barren planet. Go to planet. Generate it. Barren did not turn out so well in class 3, though. Good POI turnout, though. I mean, there's quite a bit of POIs across it. So that's good. So let's see here. Desert planet. Go to planet. Generate it. Let's see what we got here. This is a class 4. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. Oh yeah, them class 4s and 5s are gonna have a whole lot of ore on them. That's definitely better. Back to sector.
I saw some behavior changes in the drones too.
Yeah, you will. Oh yeah, those orbits are so much more lively. Way better ore distribution. Honestly, I want the space orbit so overloaded with ore that it's ridiculous. I really do.
Hmm.
Well, space mining up to this point has really sucked.
That's what
And
it has.
to be fair, in our own galaxy, what we're noticing is that there's a whole lot of resources out there in space. Lots of them. Pretty much every single asteroid that exists has some kind of resource on it we can use. Why the heck are they not trying to do that here? That kind of bothers me a little bit.
Why do
Okay.
we only get one ore type per asteroid? That would be nice if they had
Yeah.
multiple, kind of a mixed bag each time you dig into one.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. It's
Hey, to see the moon on Akula's moon. If you dig down through the top of it, you go into silicon and then you get into cobalt.
yeah.
Had so much cobalt, I didn't know what to do with it.
Actually, I think that was a bug that they fixed in a later patch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was not supposed to be that way.
I'm doing a reinstall right now. I'm going to try 804.
This is nice. I really like how this turned out. It still won't let me put a lot of drones in space, though. Like, there's definitely a ceiling on how much life you can put in space.
I was saying, so there's a behavior change in the drones now. When you knock one out, the ones around it start to converge in your location.
What, in space?
It's working on the ground, man. I bagged one. I got one drone, man, and I was swarmed up with them. There was about 3 of them came up on me while I was trying to pick
Let's
up the
check
first
out
one.
the asteroid fields. Oh, the asteroid fields are beautiful and asteroidy.
That could
There's,
have been just a coincidence,
oh,
man. There may have
there's,
been more than one in the area close by, and you didn't realize it.
there's so many drones.
Watched them on the scan. They all approached me. They were all coming towards me.
Well, you're the
Now,
only thing in the area, probably.
the other thing I noticed is that the abandoned stations are all clustered together and on top of each other.
Oops.
Yeah, I don't know why that is. So let's scroll down here and see what we have. Max
Well, they're trying to
positions-
promote a community spirit.
Yeah.
Let's do 0 to 2000 position XCY max. Y max, we'll go with 500 so we can kind of change the location of those stations a little bit. I should probably check the other space dynamics to see if they're doing that the same way. 2000, 5000. Okay, so that's way better distribution there. Space asteroid field, space orbit, and space orbit starter. Okay. So I should do space trading station. Let's have a look there. No, it's still really good distribution. These are way better done, just flat out. Oh, and I won't have to do all the regen crap afterwards, just so you guys know. That does seem to hold post-gen. I'll double check it, but they already have that all in here, and it wouldn't work before, so...
Okay, this has to be my favorite fix, is the waypoints do not share the shortest route if the waypoint is on the other side of the former green wall.
I'll be back in a moment.
So happy about that.
I'm still going to be on voice, but I had to take down my webcam for a minute.
No, I want to see the nakedness. Sorry.
I don't know about all that, but...
Pardon me. I went a little bonkers just then.
A little. Whole lot of. Okay.
Get ready for it, Internet. Let the mooning begin.
That's not funny. Alright, so it seems like our
Who said that?
generations will be pretty good this run. Let's close it again.
Who said that's not funny?
Me.
If I'm not being funny, I don't know what to do. get angry, then
All right.
put my angry face on.
Let's prep our new seeds. So let's go to content, random presets. We're also going to do a new seeding for, what are those called? Doggone it. Not stations. Asteroid fields. Seeds. Okay, asteroid field seeds.
Ooh.
Now, those asteroid fields, change it to 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. We'll leave one alien planet, and then we'll do 10 asteroid fields, 0 space stations. Okay, that'll give us 10 asteroid fields, and we'll add some asteroid fields into our map. Alright, so let's go ahead and do my seed generation. We are all prepped and ready for that. Let's open our solar system generator again. This time we are going to do seeds for, let's do an alien seeds. We're going to name this one US Alien Seeds. We'll give it a seed number of, just like that. Click generate, and there's our alien planets. Export scenario. Writing sector files took 1,911 milliseconds. Let's go check. Content, scenarios, and there it is, US Alien Seeds. So there's our first planet seeding done. Okay, now we'll do barren seeds. Generate. US barren seeds. Double check that they are actually barren. Yep. Okay. Regenerate. Export scenario. Alright. Then we will get desert seeds. It's desert seeds from the desert seeds YAML. Tell it to generate. These are all desert planets. Export scenario. Then we will do lava seeds. US lava seeds. And then we will generate. We will check lava. Export scenario. Then we will do snow seeds. And then we'll generate them. And then we'll check them. Snow. Export scenario. Now we will do starter seeds. Unknown skies. Starter seeds. We'll change the seed number to. And we will generate. And we will export a scenario with starter seeds. And then we'll do temperates. US temperate seeds. Change the seed number. Click generate button. There is temperate, temperate, temperate. Okay. We will export to temperate seeds. Sector files written. And now we'll go down and we will do, let me see here. Barren, snow, temperate, skies, temporary. I am not seeing that one, so the name must be too long. So we'll close this out. We'll open this up. There's our seeds all generated. Isn't that pretty? We'll go back to content, presets, asteroid field seeds. We'll just change this to AF seeds, because the name might be too long. And then we'll pop back up the generator. Pop up the sector. AF seeds, there it is. Now we'll change our seed number to, we'll change it to 12, tell it to generate. And these are all our asteroid fields generated. We'll go to this orbit and we'll see that they range quite a bit. You'll have some neat stuff in here. And then we'll manually add some more stuff in them as time progresses to increase their difficulty slightly. Right now we're just trying to get the general seed with changes in. Alright, so that worked out. And then we'll name this Unknown Skies. And we'll export scenario. And there's our asteroid field seeds. And it gave us object reference not set to an instance of an object. It's probably not happy we don't have any planets. So let's see if it even outputted into scenarios. Asteroid field seeds, play fields. Huh? There's the asteroid fields. A few of them. Anyways. It didn't give us many before it errored out. Maybe we have to make an adjustment. So let's go to random presets. Let's open our AF seeds. And let's give it a temperate starter planet. Just in case that's why it was being problematic. Give it a station. It's already got an alien. So we'll try this again. Okay, maybe it just didn't like what we did. Let's open the editor, close the editor. We will go back into content here, scenarios, copy the scenario name so we can ensure that it carries over into the next generation, and that we override it. Back to sectors, back to AF seeds, back to seed name, change the seed to 1205, generate, and then export scenario, and it successfully went. Okay, so it just has to have at least one starter planet in it. It wasn't happy with just one alien planet. But it looks like everything went and was successful. So content, scenarios, asteroid field seeds, playfield, and there's all our asteroid fields. Look at that. Kinda neat. It still put in extra planets by the looks of it. But it's whatever. Okay. And that is the end of using the SSG on our tutorial. I hope you all enjoy it. I hope you all got a lot of useful information out of it. If you have any questions or you want me to do another tutorial on everything else, let me know. It's not much of a tutorial, but it's my first one I've done, so... And there's not really a whole lot of information out there about the SSG. Nobody's really showing us how to use it or what its capabilities are or anything like that. It's very limited. Like, they're not going through and showing this stuff in a video, and really I feel Elion should do that. Where you can go through and you can see, exactly what's been generated and how it's worked out and how to change that outcome. They don't really go through and give us enough information on this. Because like these space asteroid fields, they're going to be a lot of fun to our players. They're really going to enjoy going in there and finding all this ore floating around out there and all this stuff to do and all these different ships. And eventually, once we're able to use this and we're able to put in our own blueprints, good God, I mean, I can just generate on the fly an entire galaxy, every single reiteration that people can play on that's completely different than the last time, with all these unique ships and all these unique planets and all this cool stuff already done, I don't have to do anything. I just press the generate button and go. That's the beauty of these templates. this can in fact generate a fully usable playfield for us to play on in our multiplayer scenario from scratch. We can add in a few starters, make in a few tweaks. It's not hard to do, and we're done. Whole game, bam, new every time we wipe. It's beautiful. It really is. I mean, players are never going to know what's up. They're going to have to choose all new starters and all new stuff to do and figure out all this additional crap that they didn't have to figure out before. I really wish I could randomize what they started with too, so that, you know, I had even less control. While I do like having precise control over everything, I would really like to deliver a random experience that even I'm not familiar with. That would be fun for me, you know? At least in my opinion. That's something that's really neat to do. And the fact that we can go to these orbits in the SSG and we can see exactly what's in them. And we can see how everything's being affected. You can see the bottom end of each orbit. And how well, you know, how different they are, how well it works, what kind of bases and POIs you end up with. And we still have two abandoned stations in here. I mean, it's pretty nice. I find out that I can go about 7,000 out with those stations on the random gen. So I may want to regenerate this set of seeds again based on that and change the locations of these stations just ever so slightly so they're a little more difficult to run across. That is not a bad idea. So I think we're going to do that. Oh, you found one video in German how to use the SSG? Yeah. A lot of the programmers and stuff that are close to the project, that's pretty much what they do. They're all German. So it is what it is. Let's see here. Let's go to our files one more time. I might as well do this. I won't end the stream quite yet. Let's go to scenarios, content. There we are. Random presets. No, these are playfield files we're changing. And that would be the space asteroid field specifically. And we are going to change the position of these up to 6,000 away. So from 0 to 6,000 out is where these will end up. That's where those stations will be put. Right now, they're, as you can see, they're ranging from about right in the center here, where this abandoned station is, to about right here where this carrier is. That's pretty close, because that's 2,000 out. Now they'll be up to 6,000 out, which means this ring right here is where they'll end up at most. So you'll have 3 to 5 stations. It'll be anywhere from center to here, all the way around in here, that you can just randomly claim. And I can do the same thing with the regular stations, or I can do the same thing with the plasma drones, or I can really kind of change the dynamic of how this is built right from those files. It's really nice to be able to do that. And it allows anybody to be able to put together quite a useful scenario, like right off the rip. It won't have all the PDA entries or anything like that in it, but it'll be very playable. That's another thing that's going to be very difficult for them to random gen, is because the PDA is so linear. You can't really random gen and use any of the stuff in it in these galaxies. Where if they used NPCs, the NPCs could be randomly placed on the bases to give you quests or stuff to do, rather than how they're doing it right now. Okay, I'm back. So I'm a little disappointed that they keep going the PDA route and they keep trying to basically write it off like, no, we don't need NPCs that do anything. We're just going to use the PDA. It's going to stick around. It's good. It's fine. That's what I get from everybody. There's nothing wrong with the PDA. And then everybody tries to reason with me and do all this stuff. It's like, well, yeah, that's great, except it ruins the potential of the game. You're sticking with this linear system that's boring and feels like something out of the 1980s in favor of what? Like, it's not unique. It's not an improvement. It's nothing that I don't know. I don't get why they're doing it. I don't. Whereas if they used, NPCs to do this stuff, you could program the NPCs with this information in game. You could pop an NPC down, give it a menu. All that stuff can be built from in game. They've done it in Minecraft and several other games that are very moddable. Why the heck aren't they doing it here? Then they wouldn't have to worry about creating content. We could generate quite a bit of content from those alone with the right set of parameters. Versus the PDA that we have now that is, for all intensive purposes, completely backwards. It doesn't have an interface. It's really, really difficult to program. Well, I don't think it's difficult, but it's difficult for somebody who doesn't know how to code to just go in there and go, okay, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to do this. If it wasn't for that one guy and his editor for the PDA, most of us wouldn't even mess with it. I'll be honest, I don't like messing with it, so I don't. I just don't. There's no point. It's slow. They change stuff too often. It's a pain. And when it comes to building a scenario, that is the heart of the scenario, is right there. And they make it borderline inaccessible for most people. And the ones that know how to use it, they're fine with that. They don't want you having easy access to it. They would rather it be a pain. Sorry for the rant, but that just really drives me freaking crazy. The SSG is definitely a step in the right direction. And you're welcome. I just noticed that somebody said hi and thanks for streaming. But anyways, that's the usability and the amount of content we can create are what's going to make this game really get past this step and where it's at. Oh, it's not a cheat. It's a solar system generator that's built into the game now. They added it in. Oh, hi. And what it allows you to do is generate an entire scenario. Here, I probably should have introduced with what it's capable of at the beginning of the stream, but most people, at least in my target audience, have already used the SSG a little bit. They just don't understand it because it's a real pain. The real power of the SSG is in its capability to start a scenario from scratch and just totally be usable. It's crazy. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back and I'm going to relaunch the SSG here. And I'm going to open a scenario. I'm going to show you how neat this is. We're going to go to sectors. We're going to go to our US config that generates just a usable galaxy. We're going to give it a seed of, and we're going to click the generate button. There's a whole galaxy. That is a fully playable scenario that I can pop on a server and just have my way with. It's already there. It's already usable. There's tons of stuff to do. Handful of crappy starter planets. Like, it's just ready to go. I can take this and I can... We'll just call it Unknown Skies Test Config. That's going to be the scenario name. We've already generated. I can export this scenario as it is and I can go play it. That's what this thing is. And it looks like it already generated. Okay. Scenario. There it is. Unknown Skies Test Config. And I'll show you in game exactly what we got here. Let's make sure that everything shows up correctly here. We're going to switch capture modes here. Give it a second. Waiting on the game to load. Its initial load is terrible. And I'll show you in-game what I just did. Now, mind you, the setup took a couple of hours to get all this set up and to get all this to work, and get it all proper and everything, but we're waiting on the game to load, so give it a minute here. My computer's like 7 years old, so bear with me.
I think I can. I think I can.
All right, we're going to go to new game. And we are going to go and select the Unknown Skies test config. We're going to leave it at new game. We're going to change its seed number to 32 set. And these are our start locations that it gives us right off rip. Gives us 2 of them, as per the generation tells it. And we're going to change our difficulty to easy just for the sake of doing this. We're going to start on Araxu, which we have on our server. And we're going to wait for it to load here, and then I'll show you what the galaxy's all made of, and you'll be able to see that it's able to generate usable scenarios on your end for single player almost endlessly with just a little bit of configuration changing. It's pretty neat. Unfortunately, it means people are just going to have to learn how to use YAML, or they're going to have beg somebody for configs. I mean, that's really what it's going to come down to. I don't share any of our configs because I do it for a group, so I missed the launch of that rocket. Whoops. It's still loading. It's so slow. If this ever loads, good God. I've noticed the very first load of this is very slow. The larger the generation, the slower it seems to want to load. We have a lot of playfields there, so wow, I wonder if it's going to load. It's still going. There it goes. Now I'm crash landing. Boy, it took forever. Yeah, the survival aspect definitely is back, and I'm going to have survival planets that are going to be difficult starts, to say the least.
Running it now, it's not too bad. Not on Kula anyway.
Yeah, but they don't really have any other start built besides Akua.
Well, they try to push it to Tallador all the time.
Okay, we're going to grab some stuff off our start here. Now you notice our start starts you off with a little bit more than you do by default, but not much. You're still pretty screwed when you start on the planet.
Not as worse, not as bad as it was before. I mean, so they didn't even
Yeah.
like it froze to death like 6 times.
We're going to get our survival tool out here. Mobile air constructor, portable constructor. Oh, mobile air conditioner and portable constructor. Okay.
And you can't make that from the start though. You gotta be like level 3 to get it.
Yeah, yeah. Which isn't helpful because in 2 more levels you're going to get a ship anyway, so why bother? That's how I feel about it. The game moves so quick, it's kind of a moot point.
Now that's something they should give you from the beginning. I mean, something you can make with almost nothing.
I agree. Rock drill. We get our copper deposit here.
Find a good smattering of rocks.
Yeah, but these big rocks don't give you anything.
You get the crunch, yeah, but you can convert that stuff though.
Yeah, you can. Now, something I've noticed, if you jump and alternate your shift to where you landed, your stamina will get you quite a bit further. I can run like 500 meters like that.
Ah, it looks like they've updated the
Yeah, they
little
have.
graphic for the crushed stone.
Yeah.
Did that happen this version or?
Yeah, this is one.
Huh?
I was on playing the last one, and when they changed it over on me, I don't like game.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, they updated the plant protein graphic too.
Yes, they did.
Wow. Those are some nice little infographics.
Yeah, that's
Well,
why I'm playing around a little bit at the beginning instead of going into God mode and showing you like the galaxy and everything. Here's our first wreck. Don't really see anything at it though. That's still a bit heavy to mess with. Yeah, I don't see any
It's the
boxes or
cargo
anything.
box.
Yeah.
They make the they're thinking the cargo box will make your life too easy. Oh well.
Alright, we're going to use the sectors reveal command. And we're going to pop up our map, and we're going to open our sector map. And there's our sector that we generated, with all of its connectivity. That's everything we just generated on a random gen, and it's nasty spaghetti mess because we can't disable the stupid orbit lines. I freaking hate that.
I'd just be happy if they'd give us the 2D toggle.
You know what? I don't mind this now because they did away with the text by
in
default.
the left corner, top left corner, toggle warp
toggle
line.
warp lines. That's warp lines, not the orbit lines.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
never
still halfway
just
there.
Got excited for nothing.
But anyways, here's an orbit field here, or an asteroid field. Let's go check out one of these asteroid fields. That's Kinsath. All right, we are in God mode. We're gonna TT to Kinsath.
I hate it. Excited.
Asteroid field. Let's teleport there. And we'll show you what's in these asteroid fields. That's funny. Whew. This runs like crap. Good lord. Let's check our map. There's a lot of ore in there. That is a pretty thick generation of ore.
Hey, Chili, would you mind pressing F8 so we could see your frame rate?
Yeah, give me a moment here. I'm getting 55 frames a second at normal flight speed. But then when I get too far out of range, it definitely reduces a little bit the closer to the asteroids I get. Oh, there they are. Now they show up. So there's asteroids all over the place on the outskirts of this thing.
So is this going to be a wipe for this version?
Yep.
Yeah.
Working on the reseed now.
Who's this talking at the moment?
Oh, Peanut.
We're on a live stream on YouTube, just so you know.
Yeah, thank you.
No language, or he will end up muting you.
Gotcha.
Oh,
Yeah.
Somebody else just joined. Who was that? Surfer?
Surfer.
Yeah.
We're on a live stream on YouTube, Surfer, so
Yeah.
no swearing or you will get muted.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm watching your stream.
All right, so yeah, these new asteroid fields are going to be fun to play in. There's a lot of space drones, there's a lot of ore, there's a lot of bases. It's a lot of stuff to work against you. There's 3 abandoned stations up here. They're spaced out unlike last time. The last time I did this generation, we ended up with a lot of just random crap all bunched up. So I'll have to change out the orbits of some planets and do some other things. But otherwise, I mean, everything seems to work really well once you start moving around in here. Let's go back to the beginning.
Actually feels a lot smoother than the last one.
And considering I'm only on a 1050, I mean, this isn't that bad.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just walking around. I haven't started flying yet, but we're getting a lot of artifacts in the last one.
This worked out pretty well. I'm content, to say the least. Let's see if we can find one of our rogue stations here. There's one. Nope, there's a station. That is one abandoned station. Looks like it partially generated into the rock. That's something they're going to have to deal with because these rocks are immovable, unmineable. You can't do anything with them. As a matter of fact, you just fly right into them in God mode. And it seems like the whole entrance of this space station is completely blocked off by this rock.
Chili, you can actually relocate those stations, just so you
Oh,
know.
I can if people report them, but that's the problem. People have to report them, and that means I have to constantly maintain the server.
Right.
Which is going to leave other guys like me just screwed and having to constantly fix stuff. Another abandoned station here.
Seems like they just need to change something to do with the collisions with those stations or something.
Well, what they really need to do is they need to put in a set of coordinates that are known good coordinates for POIs and use the coordinates from that list in the random generation. That's what they need to do. But instead, they take this way about it, and these stations have no clue where all these rocks are. Matter of fact, in the first generation, towards the middle here, in one of these really large rocks, there it is. This rock here had 3 stations on the inside of it. On one of our random gens. Because it's a very, very large rock. It's the largest one in the whole area. And that happens to be the 000 location that they have that in. So instead of having the game calculate where all these rocks are and using known good locations, because they're always at 000 anyways, at the same rotation and everything, they just leave that out. So I know at least 1 out of every 3 stations is going to be in a rock where nobody can access it. Which means I'm going to have to go out and fix those if players want them fixed. And I'm not sure whether I'm going to fix them or not. It's not something that's my fault, to be honest with you. And to have to go out and fix 100, 200 stations potentially doesn't exactly sound like a fun experience to me. I also wish the ore would randomly generate, not in a ring, but similar to the config it's used in. When it's
Like a spherical distribution.
Yeah, yeah. Like this is an asteroid field here. Why are we generating ore in an asteroid ring around the asteroid field? I mean, it would be okay, but you don't get the same draw distance on these that you get inside the field. I can still see the whole field. I can't see the whole ring of these. I can only see so far in front of and behind me. So you see them come into view and go out of view all magically. Which means if I go far enough back here, it all vanishes. But I'll still see the asteroid field. See? Give it a moment to catch up. So there's still some problems they got to deal with later. But for now, I mean, they're nowhere near done with the game yet.
You gonna
Yeah,
copy over
Starting to see
that?
some real potential though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're starting to see some
very
real
exciting.
potential here. Yeah, this is nice. All right, I'm going to exit this, and we are going to update our scenario with some new stuff. So let me quit the game and get out of the game here.
You gonna be copying over the backpack database again? Backpack
Yeah,
2?
yeah, the
Cool,
backpack will be
cool.
copied over as well. I just have to update our current scenario with a few new seeds that I did.
Awesome. I'm gonna go change my backpack around a little bit. Get some stuff I missed out on.
Use the Unknown Skies test.
Yeah, you better hurry up.
I'm hurrying. I'm installing the other version right now.
Alright, so I need some new starters and some other new stuff. With all of this in mind, we are going to delete the previous seeds I did, since that didn't quite turn out the way I wanted it. It was close, but not quite the way I wanted it. Delete the test config. We'll generate a whole new set of seeds. I'm going to end the stream here, and I'm going to go off and configure my server and look forward to playing with anybody who's watching on Unknown Skies. I hope this helps you with the SSG for your own personal projects. It's a bit better explanation than what we've had before. It's not much better, but basically when 8.0 begins, after I get the server situated and get through everything else, I'm going to give a more proper run through of the solar system generator. This is just to give people a general idea of how it works, how it generates, all that fun stuff. You get to see a few things at the very least. So anyways, thank you for watching. I'm going to end this now.